today's video, you'll meet the pufferfish's boxier but equally lethal cousin, and a fish that looks like a rock, but one you certainly don't want to pick up, much less step on. But first, let's meet the creature that is universally considered as the most fearsome predator in today's seas. Number 10. The Great White Shark. Let's get the obvious out of the way first, because admit it, no list of dangerous fish will be complete without the Great White Shark. Great white sharks are the most notorious sharks and are responsible for the highest number of unprovoked attacks on record. With around 300 teeth and an estimated bite force of around 18,000 newtons, the great white is a fierce predator. They grow to an average length of 15 feet, but some reports record lengths exceeding 20 feet, such as the great white shark Deep Blue, that weighs an estimated 5,000 pounds. These incredible predators have an excellent sense of smell and can detect blood from a quarter of a mile away. Most scientists believe that great whites do not intentionally attack people, but are simply doing a taste test. This is when they leisurely swim up to someone, often someone surfing, and take a bite to see if they are edible. This is greatly different to when they are intentionally hunting and rocket up to their prey from beneath and land a devastating bite. Unfortunately for us humans, even a taste test can be deadly. Number 9. The boxfish. You are all probably familiar with the blowfish, or fugu, one of the most poisonous fish out there. But you probably don't know about its equally lethal cousin. Meet the boxfish. Boxfishes tend to grow between 10 and 24 inches depending on the species, and they usually inhabit rocky and coral reefs in the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. They are distinguished by their box-shaped bodies and honeycomb patterns on their skin. Boxfish mainly eat algae, worms, and small fish, and are totally non-threatening to us humans. That is, until someone decides to eat one. To avoid ending up on someone's dinner menu, they have an incredible defense mechanism to ward off predators. They release a toxin called ostracotoxin through their skin into the surrounding water, which is poisonous to anything in the vicinity. This can be particularly harmful to humans as it breaks down red blood cells. In addition, some boxfish are deadly if eaten uncooked. However, most people prefer to avoid eating them entirely because of their similarities to pufferfish. Number 8. The Great Barracuda. How many of you have heard the horror stories about almost 2-meter-long sharp-teeth barracudas that leap out of the water and seriously injure some unsuspecting people in boats? There is no such thing as a flying killer fish, but the Great Barracuda is known to have attacked humans. It's not that great barracudas go out of their way to bite a chunk out of divers. Barracuda attacks are extremely rare and only happens when it tries to steal prey from a spear. The appearance of these predators is more than likely to make you at least a little cautious though, because they are quite terrifying to look at. The great barracudas have a body shaped like a torpedo and 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth. And if you need one more reason as to why you should not try to make contact with these creatures, much less eat them, here's a fun fact for you. The Great Barracuda's flesh can sometimes contain a toxin which can cause serious symptoms, from vomiting to leg weakness, and those symptoms can last more than 3 months. Number 7. The Wels Catfish. The Wels Catfish is a large freshwater fish native to Central and Eastern Europe. The fish can reach a length of up to 5 meters and weigh over 150 kilograms. They inhabit warm lakes and rivers throughout continental Europe. Their big mouths contain rows of small but incredibly sharp teeth, which they primarily use to grab down onto struggling prey. They eat a variety of things, from the usual worms and fish to rodents, frogs, and birds. Yes, birds. These devilish fish have actually been observed stalking and snatching pigeons. They would stalk the birds that were standing around the riverbanks to drink and then lunge at them, mouths agape, with surprising speed. And since these fish grow so large, it's easy to think that they have attacked humans. The fact is, they have, some of which have even resulted in death. Number 6. The Box Jellyfish. Although not a fish, the box jellyfish is as deadly as they come. In fact, it's caused more human deaths in Australia than snakes, sharks, and saltwater crocodiles combined. These creatures are transparent and pale blue in color, which makes them almost invisible in the water, making it easy for swimmers to swim directly into them. One box jellyfish contains enough venom to kill up to 60 people, and what makes them even more dangerous is the speed at which their venom acts inside the human body. The sting of a box jellyfish can kill you in less than 5 minutes. Unlike other jellyfishes floating around the currents, these fellows can swim, making a run-in with divers more likely. Other traits that set them apart from other jellyfish is their ability to see. They have clusters of eyes on each side of their box-shaped body. These abilities support the belief that instead of waiting for food to bump into their tentacles, box jellyfish might hunt for their prey. Number 5. The Electric Ray. Electric eels aren't the only ones that have shocking personalities. The electric ray has it too, and believe it or not, the chances of being shocked by one is much higher than you think. That's because electric rays are the most common electric animals in the world. Electric rays can be found in all temperate seas across the world. There are many different species of them, and the degree of how they can shock you varies as well. For instance, the electric shock from the marbled electric ray can reach up to 220 volts. If you're wondering how that feels, try holding live wires in countries like the Philippines and the UK. These rays have two kidney-shaped electrogenic organs that can produce and store electricity through muscular contractions. And although they use this shocking ability to defend against predators, they also employ it to stun potential prey. Number 4. The Northern Stargazer. Also known as Popeye fish, the tube-nosed stargazer, the Northern Stargazer, looks quite strange and very distinct with their large heads, flat foreheads, and speckled flat bodies. Their nostrils, gill slits, eyes, and most of their mouth are to be found on top of their bodies, and that's by design. You see, stargazers are ambush predators. They bury themselves in the sand, leaving only their lovely faces exposed. Once their prey is near, they open their large mouths, creating a powerful vacuum and sucking their food in, which mostly consists of crabs and shrimps. They are a danger to divers because they also carry powerful venom in their spines. Hence, stepping on one of these fish, albeit accidentally, will be the start of a very bad day indeed. Not only content with poisoning you, they can electrocute you as well. Northern stargazers have an organ on their heads that can create an electric charge that can reach up to 50 volts. Not really enough to kill a person, but more than enough to stun prey or discourage predators. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's best pick are ghastly creatures that have been called the vampires of the deep. Get ready to meet these bloodthirsty bloodsuckers next. Number 3. The Lamprey. Commonly called vampire fish, it's easy to see why these parasitic fish are named such. With eel-like bodies and having no jaw, they have round, sucker-like mouths that are used to attach to their prey and draw out their blood. They are anadromous fish that migrate up rivers from lakes and oceans, the same way that salmon are known for. Their smooth skin is typically olive or brown in color with lighter hues on their bellies, and rather than bones, their bodies are made up of cartilage, which explains their remarkable flexibility. As parasitic creatures, they have mouths wider than their heads to attach to a host and feed on their blood. Despite this fact, they have been considered delicacies in France since the Middle Ages. They are also a very dangerous invasive species. Massive efforts have been taken to reduce the population of lampreys in the Great Lakes Basin because of how they have affected the population of trout and other fish. A single lamprey can kill up to 40 pounds of fish during its feeding period, so it's no surprise how they are considered devastating to biodiversity. Number 2. The Lionfish. Lionfishes might look beautiful, but don't let its looks fool you. The very things that make this fish one of the most majestic fish in the ocean are also the same things that make them very dangerous. The lionfish is named because of the massive array of spines that it has all over its body, which resembles a lion's mane. These spines won't kill you, but they do contain venom so painful it is said to make you wish you were dead. These fish are very wary of humans, so there is little to no danger of a lionfish actively pursuing and poking a diver with one of its spines. These prickly appendages are mainly used for defense against predators. But if you find yourself diving in the Caribbean or Eastern Atlantic, which is where these lionfishes are found, I still advise you to treat the lionfish with the utmost caution and admire these beautiful white-striped creatures from a distance. Number 1. The Stonefish. The final predator on our list has a camouflage so effective you wouldn't be able to see it even if it was only 2 inches away from your nose, which only adds to its deadliness because it already has one of the most toxic naturally occurring poisons in nature. Introducing the 4th most dangerous ocean creature on our list, the Stonefish, proud owner of the title of the most venomous fish in the world. These creatures might not be the biggest fish in the ocean, only growing an average of 30 to 40 centimeters long, but they are a living proof of the fact that you don't have to be great in order to be a threat. The venom of a stonefish can cause excruciating pain, temporary paralysis, and even heart failure. A very lethal combination, especially if you're diving miles away from the nearest help. Fortunately, there is an anti-venom developed for the stonefish's toxin, but it won't do you any good, especially if you're out diving alone with no one to help you. The reassuring fact for divers is that stonefishes won't actually attack you. These creatures use their venom only as a defensive mechanism and kill their prey with quick attacks instead. Guys,